What's up YouTube, Jeff back from Sammy Guru here, and today another very exciting Samsung video for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about some key improvements that are coming to Google Messages. Yes, I know a lot of you guys are still hanging on and using Samsung Messages, which actually I am as well, but I switch back and forth between Samsung and Google Messages because most Samsung users actually out there have migrated to Google Messages amid all the RCS concerns and issues late 2024. We documented that quite a bit on my channel. So I like to cover Google Messages features, and there's two new things. One that has to do with interoperability of messaging with iPhones, and of course we all have iPhone friends out there, at least I assume most of us do. And then the other one has to do with markup inside of messages for Google Messages, like adding bold text, italicized text, etc. We're going to get into that today. Before we get into that, I do have a huge trip coming up next week to New York for Unpacked. I'll be bringing you guys Samsung's latest releases. And my friends over at Basis have sent out some of their best new charging products. These products are from their new Intercore line. This is the CJ11 fast charger with retractable USB-C cable. What I love about all three of these chargers I'm going to show you is that they all have this built-in USB-C cable technology, 80 centimeters retractable cable, and in addition, it's got two additional USB-C ports on the CJ11. You can see 67 watt GaN max output charging there, and of course, it's got the built-in prongs to go ahead and plug that right into the wall. This is perfect for travel if you need something that allows you to charge up 3 devices, and in case you leave your USB-C cable at home, you have that extra kind of padding there. Now the price is $49.99 on this one. I'm sure they'll have some discount codes below you guys can check out. I'll drop in any relevant discount codes as well as the link to purchase this one. The next thing they sent me is the power bank. This one you can see has a nice display on the front that gives you, once you press the side button here, it gives you your available charge. The power bank for the Intercore has 20,000 milliamp hour power bank, which is absolute beast. This is the CR11. You can use this to take, travel and basically charge up all of your devices. Again, 67 watts here on the output, you guys can see right there. This one allows you to once again have USB-C input output port right there, in addition to another output with the retractable cable. This retractable cable, just like the last one, let me get it into focus there for you guys. This retractable cable, just like the last charger, 80 centimeters extension on this. Absolutely wonderful to take with you on travel. This is enough to charge up your Galaxy smartphone, your Galaxy tablet, your Galaxy Book, and that's exactly what I'll be doing on my trip to New York. I'll be taking that with me. And then the last one is an international version. Now I'm going to be traveling to New York domestically, but if you go on international travel, this is the Intercore 6-in-1 universal travel adapter with retractable USB-C cable, 70 watts total. You can see here it's got the USB-C cable goes right along the side so it doesn't stick out too much, just fits right into that compartment. Once again, expand that right out, goes right back in. Very easy to utilize and travel with, as I mentioned before. You have a US outlet socket, so you can plug in another device there. You've got your adapters for the EU, for the US and Australia. You just rotate these for Australia. You've got UK here, and they're all on that side. In the back, you can plug in an additional device, no matter what type of prongs that you have. And on the bottom, you've got 2 USB-A's and a USB-C port. This lets you charge up, look at all the devices, plug something in there, there. You basically can get 6 things in here. Anyway, all 3 of these in the Intercore collection are available now. I'll have the link below, as well as any discount codes that Basis offers for you guys. I definitely recommend, if you travel a lot, take advantage of these. They're perfect for portability and also give you some flexibility in your travel. So one feature that Google's been planning for a while, and I'm using my S25 Edge here because it has Google Messages, the default messaging app, is text markup. And so the ability to format a list to bold, italicize, emphasize text, etc. And now it can do this in Google Messages. The code is there to support it, but it only allows it to work when Gemini is providing an answer. So earlier I wrote, can you write a snippet of code to calculate the sum of the first n numbers, explain how it works in MATLAB language, please? So kind of a very basic, query that a student might ask. And you can see here it's got bold text, emphasize various text. You can see here bolded right there, save the code. So it can do this. Michelle Rahman at Android Authority wrote this up. I believe the Symbol Debug also noticed this as well, saying that it's been there for a while. However, this is not yet available for users. So you cannot bold, italicize, format lists like this inside Google Messages, even though Google is supposed to have been working on this as early as 2023, so for several years. Now, one of the reasons that you might suspect Google has not given users the option is that markup is a little tricky, and the way it's delivered across various devices and carriers, etc., will differ. We wrote an article about this, which I'll drop below at Sammy Guru. Essentially, if you send something that has markup, someone might get it with a bunch of weird formatting like asterisks or slashes, etc. An asterisk or a slash. Those are things that would be annoying to the person receiving the message because there's really no standard. And so maybe that's why Google's trying to work that out first. Even over RCS, there really isn't a standard. So you could end up getting something that could be very confusing for the person receiving the message. And you might not even get the benefit of that markup because they might not actually see the bolded text. That's why maybe right now it's confined to Gemini giving you answers, because of course that's all coming on your device. It's not going from your device to another device. So that's the first thing. Hopefully Google figures out markup, but I think it's going to be challenging in the long run, even though I would love to see the options to bold, italic, all those various things in messages that I send myself. The next feature I want to talk about is editing messages that you send to your iPhone friends. So this is a message that I just opened with myself because I have an iPhone. And so I'm going to send myself an RCS message here. I'm going to say, hello, Jeff. How are you? So I made a typo. I put we instead of are. So I sent that message. I received that on my iPhone now. I just saw it come in here to the side. Now what I can do is I can long press on this and I will be able to edit this message up to 30 minutes. So this feature is rolling out currently in the beta. You can see here right now on the S25 Edge. I do not have this ability just yet, but Google is rolling out the ability to start editing these messages. And so you will be able to do that very soon. You can see right now, all you can do is reply, shared, forward, details, favorite, etc. But you will be able to long press, and then there's an edit button here that will allow you to go through and edit that message. Now, just like I talked about with text markup, there's going to be some limitations when this starts rolling out in the newer versions of Google Messages and also server side. You cannot edit, if you're on an iPhone, you won't be able to edit a message you send to your Android friend who's using RCS and Google Messages. That's because Apple hasn't really added that capability yet. Apple should have had the ability, you should have had the ability to edit messages from the beginning, but Apple adopted an older RCS standard when they first implemented it on iPhones, which is why it doesn't work. But anyway, the short is you will be able to long press here, see an edit button, and edit that within the allotted time frame. You don't have forever to do it though. It's still a very short time frame, but you will be able to edit. Your friends who send you messages will not be able to do that. The other downside is on the iPhone side, when you edit, people have tested this who've gotten early access, it actually sends a second message with like an asterisk to the person who receives it on the iPhone. So that's not really ideal and doesn't really do exactly, you would hope it would just update the message, not display another one, and that's not what happened. Two new features that are coming are already in Google Messages or coming soon. Obviously the markup hopefully will become more widespread, maybe device to device in the long run. That would be fantastic. And then of course the editing for the messages will be great once that rolls out to everyone wide scale. Hopefully Apple will try to make that more interoperable so that obviously they can have iPhone users perhaps edit their RCS messages that they send to Android friends, but I won't hold my breath for that to happen. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Again, I highly recommend checking out the new Basis Inner Core products. I'll be traveling with these next week to Unpacked in New York. Have some more impressions of them over on my socials. All the links and the discount code will be in the description below if you guys want to check them out. Appreciate you guys checking out this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.